Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, I'm going to be reviewing this Subaru Outback Wilderness. Before we get into the video though, a huge shout out and thank you to the Nate Wade Subaru here in Salt Lake City, Utah for giving me some time with this Outback. Link to their inventory in the description down below. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get right into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 2.4-liter flat four-cylinder that goes through a CVT automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 21 around town and then 26 on the highway, with power outputs being 260 horsepower and then 277 pound-feet of torque. Now, before we go over the front end, I do want to mention, if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting off with the hood, I love this blue paint, and you've got a decal there which is supposed to reduce glare from like the sun. Really cool looking daytime running lights, and then you guys can see with the headlights, and then look at all this like cladding here, and then I love the fog light action right there, and then the gold trim also kind of makes everything cooler. Anyway, Subaru logo there with the camera, and then we do have skid plate protection underneath. Now putting it all together, I think it looks fantastic, and we've got about 9.5 inches of ground clearance. Come around the side here, our tire and wheel setup is 225, 65, 17 in the front and over in the rear as well. And I love the design for the wheels with the Wilderness package. I just think they look cool. We've got this aggressive cladding here for the fender flares. Of course, got a Wilderness badge, and then notice that kind of like connects here at the bottom. Outback as well, and then notice with the mirrors, they've got like a satin finish on them, and then you've got the gold there with the roof rails as well. And then here's our full side view with the Outback, and you know, with the wheels and the cladding, I think it looks really cool. Now here's our key fob. We've got the Subaru logo as the unlock function, we've got the lock function, and then if we hold this down, that'll actually pop open the rear hatch. And then popping into the rear, you guys can see we've got a cargo cover built in from the factory. Notice how it says Wilderness here for the rear covering, and it looks like kind of like muddy terrain. That's really cool. Anyways, we've got these little latches here to throw down the seats if you want even more space, but I mean, this thing already is massive. And then when you're all done, just press that button right there, and that will lower the hatch right back down. We've got the Outback signature taillights here, and then notice with all of our badges how those are all blacked out, including like the Wilderness badge. And then you guys can see here, again, with the gold, and then look at the exhaust tips here at the bottom. But putting it all together, you know, I think the Outback's grown on me quite a bit over the years. Like, I like the station wagon look now, and this Wilderness edition just kind of makes it look even cooler. Now here's a look at the rear door panel. Really nice padding here, and then you guys can see the stitching down below. Notice the window itself is automatic, and looks like we got some carbon fiber print. And then here's the rear seat. Notice with the trim, this is supposed to be designed to make it so it's easy to clean the seats. So legroom here in the back is actually really solid. We've got little storage pocket situation where it's like double storage. It's very interesting to say the least. But anyways, you guys can see we've got some vent action here. We've got heated seats and some USBs. And then headroom back here is also great. Oh, and look at this. Cup holder armrest. Now with the front door panel, you guys can see again Wilderness there, and then look at like the stitching. All the windows are automatic. You've got your mirror adjustment here. Again, more of that like carbon fiber print. And then here's a quick look at the mirrors themselves. Looks like they have blind spot monitoring. Wilderness there in the headrest, and then look at like the trim for the seats. Pretty cool looking. We've got our power adjustments here on the side, and then you guys can see here for the hatch, just shut that off, or you can just open it up too. Now here's a look at the steering wheel itself. Really nice padding all around, and then you guys can see the gold stitching there with the gold trim at the bottom. This does come with adaptive cruise control with the steering assist. We've got our volume, voice command controls, phone controls, all that fun stuff. Paddle shifters on the back as well, actually. Turn signal / light stock, windshield wiper stock. I like how we've got some gold around the gauges themselves. I think that looks pretty cool, but mostly analog. We do have a screen there in the center, and then we can, you know, see different bits of info on the car as well if we want. Pretty standard stuff. Now we do have a backup camera with trajectory lines that turn with the steering wheel, and resolution overall is pretty dang solid. Now we have Subaru's new infotainment system, so we've got like a volume and tuner control on either side. We've got analog climate controls as well. This does come with heated seats. No AC seats with the Wilderness package, but you know, still nice to have heated seats. Anyways, as for response time on this screen itself, pretty dang solid. And then if we press the vehicle tab, it's really important. This is where we can change the drive modes. So if we pop into the X mode, you've got the normal, deep, snow, mud, and then we've got our snow / dirt mode. Apparently this thing can drive up a 40-degree incline. That's at least what Subaru's marketing stuff says with it. But there's a bunch of other stuff you can customize through as well. You can see the stitching here, and then like look all along there as well. And then again, more of that. I guess it's not really carbon fiber print. Sorry about that. A little bit different. Kind of looked like it in the sunlight, but still looks cool regardless. This right here is our charging area, as you can see. And then we got our parking brake. And then look at the gold here with the shifter. Got the manual mode. And then if we press this button right here, that'll pop on with the front camera view. Cup holder action here, and then look at like the padding. And then inside, we've got like a lid here on the top. And then if we pull that up, more storage space here in the center console. And then also, I guess we should go over the glove box at this point. There you go. And then up top, we just have the sunglass holder. No sunroof or anything like that, just a darker colored headliner. So here's our window sticker for this Outback Wilderness. Pretty much everything went over with standard equipment. Yeah, everything was standard. So total MSRP, $39,670 on this one. Let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility of the hood, both the mirrors, throughout the rest of the rear, and Subaru away! You gotta say, instead of Subaru, you gotta say Subaru. I guess that's the thing we're going with today. I want to say something funny. So before we start the review, we'll be going over some train tracks to test the damping, and well, I filmed two whole YouTube reviews in the time that it took one train to go through this little intersection here. So yeah, it's crazy how slow the train companies have their, oh, here's another one. I was say it's crazy how slow the train companies have their stuff go, but that's a person train, so that one's gonna be fast. It's the cargo trains that are the slow ones, that's for sure. But the first thing I want to mention is seat comfort's really good. I'm driving this back to back with an XT Outback touring package, and so it'll be interesting to see how this kind of feels comparatively. So finishing up with those train tracks, damping was actually really good. So that's surprising. Well, not surprising in like I'm shocked way, but like, you know, I just drove the other Outback and like the damping was good on this, but like it's even better with this one. Hopefully that makes sense. I guess I'm a little bit mixed up from staring at a train crossing through an intersection for 20, well, it was probably like 40 minutes. I feel like it was a long time, okay? But anyways, partial. So good torque on the low end. We'll get a full-blown acceleration up here in a moment. Now, some other stuff here. The thing that I really like about the Outback is just the overall like comfort. I already mentioned the damping's really good, but like it's just a comfortable car to drive. It's big enough that you have lots of storage, but it's also still like compact enough that it doesn't feel like you're lugging around a huge vehicle. It's still very manageable. Yeah, over the bumps you can perceive a difference between this and the touring. It feels like I wouldn't say this is more comfortable. I would just say that like you can feel like this can absorb bigger bumps, which makes sense, right? It's the off-road version, so you'd hope that it would be able to do that. So I'd say that is pretty impressive. And so we'll get into summing things up here with this Outback. First off, I love this. I love the blue paint as well. Gosh, these Napa guys, they always drive crazy. not trying to call, I'm not saying the company, I'm just saying some of the people that work for it. Anyways, woo, that hits hard. Yeah, that is quick. No, but seriously, like I drive all over Salt Lake and Utah County, and like every single time, like one of those, it's I don't know what it is, but they just like zoom out into traffic. I don't know why. I really like this car. Now, I'm actually more torn than I thought I would be. I like the looks of this more than the touring that I just reviewed, but the touring had the camera rear view mirror. It had air-conditioned seats as well as heated seats, and on top of that, the Napa leather seats. These are really comfortable. Those are really comfortable too. So it's kind of tough. This is less expensive though, so it's like you do pay extra money for the stuff you're getting with that touring package. So, me personally, I think I'm gonna go Wilderness, because I like the off-roader aesthetic. I also like the idea of like being able to just like drive this car year round. Don't have to worry about changing the tires, because these tires will be fine in the snow, because I mean ultimately this is meant to be able to go off-roading, and I think it's cooler. Let me know which one you'd pick though.